talking to you. I remember that moment like it was yesterday. I was a fat guy trying to be a Navy SEAL now, and my life had come to this crossroads where I'm like, man, you have to go right. And no one was going right. Everybody was going left. I'm like, you have to go right. And to know the pain and suffering I was about to endure by going right, the amount of accountability and failure I was going to witness and suffer by myself alone on this journey, it was daunting. So when I finally got to the ASVAB test, and I was taking it for my very last time to get into the SEAL teams, or to try out, they weren't supposed to tell me my score. And I went back out to my car after I took it. I was on some computer test, and I didn't know how to use computer. I was wigging out about that shit because the first time I took it was like some like notebook. You know, you open a Scantron sheet and you bubble it in with the number 2 pencil and shit. You turn it in. I saw a computer and I was like, oh fuck, what the shit? What is? Oh my god! I'm like, it's on the computer, so I wigged out there, and I had to get a 50 on mechanical comprehension. And
this was like the third time you'd taken the test, right?
This is my second time. So I took it 3 times for the Air Force and twice for the Navy. So this is my second time for the Navy. And they're like, hey, this is it, man. You know, you're done. You're too old. You have a limited amount of time to lose 106 pounds. And you have to take this ASVAB again. There's so many things that's crunched down my head. And so when I took the test, I knew I had a good enough score to get in the Navy. But to be a SEAL, I had to score high on mechanical comprehension, a 50. So the first time I got a 44 on mechanical comprehension. So I'm sitting there and I take the test and I hit send. Send meant it's out in outer space somewhere, but I knew it popped up at the administrator's desk. And he's not supposed to tell me shit. He tells you sit down, take your test, and you leave. I walked out, got in my car, or I was walking around the car, whatever. And I was like, I gotta go in and find out, man. So I went in, I literally sat there. Everybody's taking their test, and I'm begging this guy. And he's telling me, I can't tell you shit. It's against government, it's against rules, everything. Right. He opened it up, he goes, okay, man. He said, you got a 65. I said, no, man, I didn't know I got a mechanical comprehension. And he scrolled the page down, and it was exactly a 50. And I literally, like, what came through my body, because it's easy to talk about now to you, but no one knew the time and energy I put into getting that 50. Right. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah. I mean, what is that? What did that represent for you? Like the opportunity for a new life to finally
It represented an opportunity for a new life, but the thing about it is, I'm trying to be a Navy SEAL. At this time, I was still 200 and some odd pounds. I still had more weight to lose. So think about this. I put everything on David Goggins to be a Navy SEAL. It's like going to the crap table with your last $1,000. And you say, you know what? I'm gonna put everything on this fucking, on black. And hopefully I'll win. If not, I'm broke. I put my whole life, a guy that was scared of the fucking water, a guy that could fucking taught himself how to read and write, on being one of the hardest motherfuckers on the planet. Think about that shit. A guy that came from nothing. I put my whole life, and I'm gonna go out here and put everything on David fucking Goggins to be a Navy SEAL. Not to go be a fucking, Boy Scout or some shit. A Navy SEAL. And I look at that, and I did all this shit just to get the opportunity to succeed. That's what people don't fucking understand, man. And people see the end result. I remember that guy saying, my God, man, I can't believe what the fuck I've just done. I put everything, ruin relationships, ruin this, ruin that, put everything on. In fact, I have to become someone in this world, or I'm no good for anybody.
Where does that come from? Where did that compulsion, that drive?
It comes from a disgusting place of not being fulfilled in your life, of afraid of dying, having never accomplished anything. That's a fear that some people run away from, that people don't want to face. When you have a real fear of dying and being just another person, that I live to pay the bills, I made $1,000 a month. This is my life. I spray for cockroaches, man. If that makes you feel good, that's great. It didn't make me feel good. I wanted to, the first time in my life, after 26 years, it was 24, 25, wherever I was, I wanted to feel good about myself. And that was the ticket for it.
Yeah, I mean, you have this huge reservoir, this capacity to leverage pain and circumstance to drive change within yourself.
Right.
To be able to not be a victim, but to look at pain as your friend, as a catalyst for growth. And I think there's a lot of people out there. Look, if you're in enough pain, that's going to move the needle for you. There's a lot of people out there that are in just enough pain where they're willing to just settle for what they have because they're not in enough pain to change.
Right.
And the fear of change outweighs the pain of their daily existence.
You know, the one gift I have, with all that being said, what you just said there, is I have the ability to see the end before the beginning even begins. And what that means is I know that to get to the very end, I can see it right now. So before I went to Buds, and I was losing all this fucking weight and shit, I saw myself walking across the fucking stage at 191 fucking pounds. That's what I had to get to get into the door. I saw myself 6 months, a year later, whatever's going to take me to do it. I saw myself walking across that stage, getting that fucking certificate of graduation from Buds. And I was able to be there at 300 fucking pounds. And that feeling that I was nowhere near that fucking feeling, I was able to put myself there 1,000,000 times every fucking day. And that feeling of like, my God, that is going to feel fucking amazing. That's what made me suffer. That's what allowed the pain to be real and say, this is worth it. I want to feel for this fucking next 18 months. It took me 18 fucking months to finally become a Navy SEAL, to finally, just get through Buds. 18 months. It's 6 months. It took me 18. That's what woke me up every fucking morning was, I'm going to put myself through this much fucking pain and suffering for a few seconds. That's all it is. A few seconds of joy. And it's so fucking worth it, man. That's what people don't get. So I'm able to put myself at the finish line, even though I have no finish line, but at the finish line of an event before I even start the motherfucker to say, how are you going to feel at the end of this?
Well, visualization is one of the challenges. And part of that is not just visualizing success or living in the reality of achieving what you're setting out to achieve, but also visualizing how you're going to navigate all the obstacles that are going to get thrown in your path.
Right. Visualizing is my biggest tool of life. That's why I've been able to put myself in cold water, put myself in a 100-mile race millions of times before I've done it. And I'm able to go through the race and see how I'm going to feel at mile 50, almost to the exact feeling.
Right. So when it comes up, it's no surprise.
It's no surprise. I've already done this a million times, and that's the one thing I practice and practice and practice and practice overnight. But also, the most important thing is I practice that feeling of accomplishment that I'm going to have when it's all said and done with.
The crazy thing about the ASVAB story is that in addition to having to pass this test and get that 50, you also had to lose 100 pounds in like 30 days or some crazy short period of time?
It was less than 3 months.
Right. Okay, 3 months. So, but you compartmentalize these two tasks and say, look, the first thing I got to do is I got to pass this test,
right,
because the weight doesn't matter if I don't get that 50. And you shelved or put off losing the weight to focus on the academic end of it until you completed that hurdle, and then you looked at the weight stuff.
I'm like that now to this day.
You still got it done.
Yeah,
but it's like being focused on one thing at a time.
I have to be very present in everything I do. Like right now, I'm with Rich Roll. I'm not thinking about shit, but Rich Roll. And what the fuck's coming out of your mouth right now? That's what gives me a huge advantage in life, especially today, in this day and age, with so much shit going so fast, and everybody wants to keep everything going, everything up, and everything. I want to be the greatest multitasker of all time. Not me. If I put my 100% into what's in front of me, I will destroy it. If I'm out here just multitasking and shit, I'm going to half-ass everything I do. So it is the most important thing in the world to me, is being focused at the task at hand.